The council chamber stretched vast and cold, its obsidian walls carved with the kill marks of 1,000 generations. Elder Tharoon sat upon the apex throne, his scaled form draped in the ceremonial bones of extinct apex predators from dozens of worlds. His 6 eyes regarded the human standing before him with barely concealed contempt. Captain Ilara Korin stood at attention, her uniform pristine despite 3 months of deep space travel to reach this chamber. She had come seeking membership in the Galactic Apex Council, a privilege reserved only for species who had proven themselves worthy through combat, survival, and dominance over their natural worlds. A human, Tharoon's voice rumbled like grinding stone. You wish to petition for your species' inclusion among the Apex? His mandibles clicked in what passed for laughter among his kind. Around the circular chamber, the other council members, each representing a species that had clawed its way to the top of their respective food chains, watched with varying degrees of amusement. I do, Elder Tharoon, Ilara replied, her voice steady. The elder rose from his throne, his massive form casting shadows across the floor as he descended the steps. He stood nearly 3 meters tall, his body a testament to millions of years of evolutionary warfare. Razor-sharp claws extended from his forearms, each one capable of shearing through battle steel. Show me your hands, human, Tharoon commanded. Ilara extended her hands without hesitation. They were small compared to the elder's talons, the fingers delicate and precise. The skin was pale, marked here and there with the calluses of a spacer's life, but otherwise unremarkable. Tharoon leaned down, examining them with all 6 eyes. Then he laughed, a deep booming sound that echoed through the chamber. Soft, he proclaimed, his voice dripping with disdain. Look at these pitiful appendages. No claws, no natural weapons, no armor. Tell me, Captain, what predator did your ancestors fear? What beast shaped your evolution into the warrior species you claim to be? The other council members joined in the mockery. Elder Crixel, whose species had evolved in acidic oceans, clicked her mandibles in derision. Commander Voth, whose people had survived ice age after ice age by hunting megafauna, growled his agreement. We feared many things, Ilara said quietly. We still do. Fear? Tharoon circled her slowly, his tail scraping against the stone floor. Fear is what prey feels. The Apex do not fear, we are feared. Look around you, human. Each member of this council bears the marks of the trials. We have all faced the ancient predators preserved in our genetic memory, recreated through biotechnology to test our worthiness. He gestured to a massive scar across his chest. I face the dread saurian of my homeworld, 20 meters of pure killing instinct. Elder Crixel survived 3 days against the abyssal Leviathan. Every member here has proven themselves against the apex predator of their evolution. He leaned close to Ilara, his breath hot and reeking of meat. What could your soft, weak species possibly offer? Ilara met his gaze without flinching. Permission to remove my jacket, Elder? Tharoon waved a dismissive claw. By all means, show us your pitiful frame. She unbuttoned her uniform jacket slowly, methodically. As she slid it off her shoulders, the watching council members fell silent. Beneath the crisp military attire, Ilara wore a simple tank top. Her arms were covered in scars, some surgical, some ragged, some that looked impossibly old for someone of her apparent age. But it was the mark on her left shoulder that made Tharoon freeze. 4 parallel lines, each the width of a finger carved deep into the muscle. The scar tissue was old, silver-white with age, but the pattern was unmistakable. It was identical to the claw marks that adorned the apex throne itself, the symbol of the council's oldest and most sacred trial. Impossible, Tharoon breathed, his voice barely a whisper. The cave lion trial, Elder Crixel said from her seat, her multiple eyes widening in recognition. But that predator went extinct 50,000 standard cycles ago. We preserved its genetic code, but the trial itself was deemed too dangerous after it killed 3 consecutive apex candidates. Ilara pulled her jacket back on, her movements calm and precise. Humanity calls it Panthera spelaea. It went extinct on Earth approximately 13,000 years ago. In our time, not yours, we didn't preserve its genetic code in databases. She paused, letting the weight of her words settle over the chamber. We preserved it in our bones, in our neural pathways, in every instinct that screams at us to check the shadows. Tharoon's claws retracted slowly. How? Because we didn't just survive alongside apex predators, Elder. We survived alongside dozens of them. Cave lions, cave bears, short-faced bears, dire wolves, saber-toothed cats, and those were just in one region in one era. While we were still learning to make fire, we were prey to creatures that would give your Dreadsaurian nightmares. Ilara's voice remained steady, but there was steel beneath it now. And yet here we stand. She stepped closer to the apex throne, her eyes never leaving Tharoon's. You asked what shaped humanity into warriors. It wasn't one predator, Elder. It was an entire world that wanted us dead. We had no claws, no armor, no venom. We had soft skin that tore easily, and we were slow compared to the things that hunted us. But we had something else, the ability to remember, to plan, to persist. The scar, Tharoon said, his voice hoarse. How? Genetic memory splice, Ilara replied. When humanity discovered we weren't alone in the universe, we found your council's records. We learned about the trials, so we created our own, facing the predators of our past, recreated from preserved DNA to prove we belonged among you. I volunteered. She touched the scar on her shoulder. I faced a recreated cave lion in single combat, armed only with what our ancestors would have had, stone and fire and will. I survived, barely. The chamber was silent. Slowly, deliberately, Elder Tharoon extended one massive claw. Ilara looked at it for a moment, then clasped her small, soft hand around it. The council will need to deliberate, Tharoon said formally, but there was something new in his voice, something that might have been respect. But know this, Captain Ilara Corrin. Any species that can turn their weakness into strength, that can face their ancient nightmares and still reach for the stars. He paused, his 6 eyes gleaming in the dim light. That is what it means to be Apex. As Ilara left the chamber, she heard the beginning of the debate behind her. But she already knew the outcome. Humanity had proven what the galaxy needed to learn, that the most dangerous predator wasn't the one with the biggest claws. It was the one that refused to stay prey.